Hey guys, John here with How to Film Weddings, and I'm super excited to be bringing you a video today all about second shooters. Some of us don't have a built-in husband or wife to help us, and we need help. We need second shooters. My company, it's just me, but I have 3 second shooters that I've been working with for over 10 years, and I've learned a lot over the last 15 years on what to look for and how to train second shooters. So that's what we're gonna be talking about today, so let's get into it. So first we're gonna talk about what we wanna look for in a second shooter. What I'm thinking about when it comes to a second shooter is I do not want ego. I do not want a prima donna. I do not want somebody that comes into my company is trying to tell me everything I need to do. So that's the first thing I'm looking for, is actually what I'm not looking for, and that's no egos, no big heads, somebody that is ready to learn. And that's really the first thing I want to talk about, is somebody with a teachable spirit, a teachable heart, somebody that is eager to learn and wants to learn from you. And you can just feel it, that they're really excited to learn from you. The next thing I'm looking for is somebody that's willing to invest time to learn from me. They are willing to come in early. They're willing to come to some weddings. They're willing to do things because they are eager to learn how to be a second shooter. And really what is important to me more than any skill level is their attitude. Are they somebody that fits in and gels with my team, with me, with the brand? Do they understand what I care about, and are they willing to learn how to take care of my couples? Over the years, I found it's actually a lot harder to work with somebody that has a ton of experience, that comes in with an ego and a big head. So training somebody from the very beginning is a great way to train up somebody to do exactly what you want them to do. It's not the only way to go about it, but I found it to be much easier with people with less experience, so that I can show them exactly what I want them to do to be able to perform really, really well for my company. So we've talked about what I like to look for in a second shooter, but how do you find these people? We get asked this question a lot. How do I find a second shooter? Do I just put an ad out? What do I do in this situation to find the right people? One of the things I did early on was I set up a summer internship. I would put together a graphic, I would put together a web page on my website that was very clear on what I was looking for, and I would share it to my social media, I would tag people, I would ask them to share it with people, but the ad or the internship would say something like, our team is growing. We are looking for people that want to learn how to film weddings or how to edit weddings or how to, whatever it was that I was looking for, I would say exactly what I'm looking for, and then I would list out the criteria of the kind of person that I was looking for. Somebody with a great attitude that's willing to learn, no experience really needed, willing to learn, willing to take extra time. Those were the things I would put, and I would share it on social media and say, if you know somebody that might want a summer internship, I'm taking X amount of people to be an intern for me this summer. And I'd put that out there, and then people would come to my website and fill out information. On the website itself, I'd have them put their name, their info, and why they wanted to be a second shooter, and I would get somewhere between 20 and 30 applicants. Some people would stand out. I would schedule a few calls, some Zoom calls, get to know some people, and then I was able to get them on my team. So that has been the best way I have found my shooters, is actually putting together internships, whether they're paid. The key there is to be really specific on what you're looking for and make it really easy for people to find that information. Another thing I would think about doing is reaching out to local churches, maybe your church, or local universities, reaching out to the media department and saying exactly what you're looking for, even sharing your internship with them will get you lots of qualified people. And I kind of mentioned it earlier, but even if you don't do an internship and you're just hiring or you're looking to grow the team, social media is your friend and connections are your friend. So if you post something on your social media, on your Instagram, on your stories saying, hey, we are looking for people to join our team. If you're interested or know somebody who is, tag them below, or sharing that with your stories to a link to a form for them to fill out. Just make it really easy for people in your community to help share it. You will be surprised surprised by just asking and presenting something that has teeth to it, how much that will actually yield applicants for you. But you have to be able to put that into writing, into words, and make that attractive to people. Instead of just saying, oh no, I don't have a second shooter, what should I do? This is not the plan. The plan is to get out in front of this and get 2 or 3 or 4 people ready to go for you, so you have multiple options in case somebody can't shoot for you. So once you have a lot of people interested, you can do training sessions, you can do all kinds of things, and that's what we're gonna get into next. How do you train your second shooters to fit the flow and fit your brand specifically? Before actually even getting to a wedding, you want to make it very clear the path of where they can go with you in your business, with you and your company. What does it look like for them? How many weddings do they have to go to before they get paid? What does the process look like? Do they have to bring their own gear? You have to make it very clear to them what you're expecting and how the path works to get them to be a second shooter. It's not just start with me, you're gonna shoot. We have to make it very clear for them what the path looks like so we can show them exactly what they need to do to become part of your team. After you make that clear, what I've done that's been really successful is I have them come as a third shooter with me to a wedding. I've chosen to pay them, it's usually $50 to $100 for somewhere around 5 to 7 hours of time. So what I do is I have them shadow me for at least 3 weddings. And this is something I make very clear to them whenever they're going through the interview process, that they come to 3 weddings with me. I'll pay them $100 for every wedding, but they're going to help load gear, they're gonna help set up tripods, and then I'm also going to hand them a camera during the reception so they can practice. But they're gonna be quiet, they're gonna be right next to me, and they're just gonna learn how I interact with couples on the wedding day. And this is a great opportunity for you to have them do a couple of other things. I've had them take photos for social media, do behind the scenes things, go and get waters for couples, things like that. But having that extra pair of hands is really helpful during the ceremony, during the getting ready part of the day. And so I have them just stand right there with me and watch. I tell them what to wear, I tell them when to arrive, I tell them everything they need to know, and I leave nothing up to chance. They come as a third shooter and they spend somewhere between 5 and 7 hours. I rarely make them stay till the end of the night, but once the reception gets there, I do hand them a camera and say, go have fun, play around, try different things on that first wedding. Then their second wedding, I give them a little more responsibility. I let them have a camera during the ceremony. I let them make sure to watch an angle during the ceremony that it's working. And I'm showing them exactly what I want out of them, and they're getting hands-on training. And I'm reminding them of that vision of their pathway to success with me. Then after that third wedding, depending on how good they are, what's going on, that third wedding, I'm giving them a camera, I'm letting them take extra footage, I'm letting them film during bride prep, I'm letting them film during first looks, during portraits. I'm setting up the camera for them depending on their skill level, helping them understand how to use my gear, showing them the kinds of shots that I want, but they're learning a ton. And it really, really is helpful. Some people come to a wedding and they just help for the day and they say it's not really their jam. Some people get really excited about it, and then you can work them into being a second shooter. But after 3 weddings, that's when I reevaluate with them and say, I think you're ready, I don't think you're ready, wherever that might be, and then I might train them to shoot a little bit more with me before that, or tell them I need 2 or 3 more weddings before I feel comfortable with you being a second shooter. Another thing I do is I will send them along with the second shooter that's there on that day so they can start to really learn what a second shooter does, how we work as a second shooter and first shooter team. And I'm just able to really immerse them. You know, more is caught than is taught. And that's what I want. I want them to be at the wedding. I want them to see and feel that energy. And I want to show them how exciting weddings are and show them that they could make a lot of money doing this. In the meantime, I've told them how much money that my second shooters make. I've told them that within this much time they could be making that. And I'm presenting this vision and I show them these are the weddings that I have booked. If you are ready to be a second shooter, I could put you on X amount of weddings already. And I'm just presenting that vision and showing them that clear pathway and training them along the way. So after they've been to a few weddings as a third shooter, maybe now they're on as a second shooter, I'm obviously transitioning them into that second shooting role very slowly, but they shoot with me. Let's say we finish the shoot. I don't just hire them, they shoot, and then I don't ever look at their footage. I want to review footage with them quickly. I want them to shoot on Saturday and sometime by Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday to be sitting down and walking through the footage with them so they can see what they did right and what they did wrong. And this isn't something I actually recommend doing once they're a second shooter, but you can do this while you're training them too. So it just depends on their skill level and what you think about what they're doing. But looking through their footage, giving them feedback, showing them what you want, and training them is going to help you get the right footage when they actually become that second shooter for you. So we've talked about what to look for in a second shooter. We've talked about how to get them. We've talked about how to train them. And now we want to talk about how to keep them. How do you keep somebody happy? How do you keep them on your staff? I will tell you this, I've trained a lot of people over the years, and a few of them have stuck. And really 2 to 3 years of time with a second shooter is a really good amount of time. Some people are worried to train second shooters and show them what you do because they're worried that they're gonna get put out of business or they're training their competition. But for me, I'm confident enough in myself to know that I am years ahead in my branding, in my marketing, in my networking. And so for me, if I'm training up my competition, I feel like I'm doing the industry a service. So many of the people I've trained have started their own businesses, but I still have them second shoot with me. And then I even refer them weddings that are under budget for me. So I wouldn't be the person that would be the pessimist and be worried that somehow I'm gonna get put out of business, but look at this as a way to train people knowing that you're going to be getting better along the way, and those people can be charging what you're charging today while you elevate to a higher price. That's exactly what's happened. Joel, one of my main second shooters, started his own business last year, and I've referred him a ton of weddings in the $3,000 to $5,000 range because my starting rate now is $15,000. He still second shoots with me on some of my really big weddings, but I love sending him over $3,000 to $5,000 bookings as he's getting his company up and running. Do I worry that I'm gonna not have enough weddings? Of course not. So keeping them is something that you can do if you present that vision continually, if you're making it really fun for them, if you've made it a really exciting environment, you give them enough good work, and then obviously if you pay them really well. Some of my second shooters now make over $100 an hour, but it's because they add a lot of value to what I do. And they are loving going for 8 or 10 hours in a day, making $1,000 to just show up, use the camera equipment that they know how to, and then get to go home. So paying them really well is also a really good way to keep them. So we've talked about what to look for in a second shooter, how to find second shooters, how to train them, and how to keep them. As a reiteration, do not be afraid to train people and teach them the skill of wedding filmmaking. You are continually getting better, you're continually growing your brand, and if you're afraid that you're training somebody that's gonna put you out of business, I would challenge your thinking to say, we need to train up that next generation of shooters so that we can continue to charge more. Now, there's a lot more that goes with second shooting and all that goes with it. And if you want to hear more, please let me know what I missed in the comments. Also, if you're watching this video and maybe there's something that you've done as a leader that's created second shooting jobs that I might have missed, let us know in the comments. How to Film Weddings is a community where we help each other out. I don't feel like I know everything. Nick doesn't feel like he knows everything, but we are here to wrap our arms around the wedding filmmaking community so that we can all help each other get better and do what our mission states, which is to elevate the wedding film industry. So if this video has been helpful, do me a favor, just hit the like button. If you want to leave a comment, I'll be happy. I won't be mad. Let's just say that. But like this video, share it with somebody that needs it, and we will see you next time.